Hey guys, Inferno here. Developer Diary 9 for Czar was just released. It goes over our feedback from the second playtest and what Ninja Kiwi is doing in response, so let's get into it. According to the feedback survey that 1,500 playtesters submitted to Ninja Kiwi, most players felt the look and feel of the game was strong. A majority described the difficulty as challenging but satisfying, which made them very happy, but that's not to say they won't tweak the difficulty going forward. They also heard complaints about shielder swarms being a little problematic at times. This is definitely a positive foundation though. With a few tweaks and changes, I think the difficulty could be just right. Next, a lot of people noticed occasional stuttering, especially in busier moments, so Ninja Kiwi are already working on optimization passes to help improve performance overall. They also heard our feedback from the length of the strongbox opening animation, with lots of people saying that they'd like it to be shorter or to have a skip animation option, so they're looking into that as well. A chat system where you can just type your messages was also a reoccurring theme in the feedback survey. This isn't as easy to implement as they'd like though, and it does open some potential issues, such as effective moderation. That said, they heard us loud and clear, and they're looking into what they can potentially offer. Now this is understandable, but with this being said, I think it would be a cool idea to have a settings tab for communication, where you're given a bunch of chat options to choose from, such as thanks or sorry. Then you can equip 8 to 10 of your favorite sayings to your chat wheel for easy and effective communication without the need of a moderation system. Again, this is just my idea, Ninja Kiwi didn't mention this. Now for operations. Based on the feedback survey, Eradication and Close the Breach were the most enjoyed operation types overall. On the other hand, Cache Recovery drew the most criticism, as many players felt it didn't stand out compared to other models. So they're looking into ways to give Cache Recovery more identity and variety moving forward. Now for Merc classes. Assault and Medic were the most popular classes, with Heavy a bit behind. This was somewhat to be expected since they are historically two of the more popular classes, but they'll be revisiting this to help give Heavy a little bit more identity and to make it a bit more appealing of a class to choose. Many players also claimed that Medic was too weak and didn't stand out enough as a support class, so this too will be an area of focus. They're also currently in the process of reviewing class skills, so expect some changes there in the future. On to weapons. In the weapons section of the survey, they saw some interesting polarization. Guns like the HVM-40 shotgun and RIA T-35 Scorch were both among the most loved and least loved. The HVM-19 pistol came up frequently as least satisfying, so they'll take another look at the feel and power of it to ensure that even as a starter weapon, it's fun to use. I find it really cool how they're focusing on guns this much, and especially this gun, the first pistol in the game. They're trying to make it fun and satisfying to use, even though most people would upgrade from it early on. Small things like this keep my hopes high for this game, and I really like their attention to detail. Next, they asked what keeps us playing Czar, and the top answers were new weapons and gear, character progression and leveling, modding weapons, and new maps and challenges. This was great validation for the direction the game is heading, keeping in mind that the playtest build was just a segment of the full game, with a core loop of progression, customization, and fresh content. Something else that keeps me playing is any form of long-term grind. Something similar to Faction War where you'd save credits for items, or grinding cores from SAS4 where the odds were really low but it was awesome when you found one. And I know this was mentioned in the list, but another thing that keeps me playing is trying out all the guns. The more guns to experiment with, the better. I always loved getting new weapons that would shoot different bullets, look really cool, or have unique elemental effects. Finally, even though the focus of this dev diary was to recap the playtest, they gave us something new to look at. Behold, a destructive lineup of epic new weapons. From left to right we have the Shotlight Dominator, Ronson LBM-15, Hicks M450, HVM MPG MK13, now that's a fun one to say. And finally, the RIA T-71 Strike. Before the diary ends, they once again thank us for taking part in the playtest, saying our feedback is already shaping what comes next, and they're excited to show us how the game evolves. Now there's no Q&A for this diary, but they will return in the next diary, so you guys can feel free to ask away. And that's about it. So good luck, guys. See ya.